Imagine if we lived in a world where each person helped the other and it continued as a cycle amongst generations. The world would be a better place, wouldn't it? It was Mahatma Gandhi who said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." So in the spirit of today being recognized as International Day of Charity, make a difference by choosing to help others. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Shelby, I want to you. I make it look like you have the whole world on your shoulders, Massa.
Ashley, I'm tired. Every day the same thing and I can't take this no more.
And what happened now?
Now my boss man, every day I have me assign some documents I'm not supposed to assign for with some big money. And when I say, sir, I'm not supposed to assign for them here, I'm going to say, you want a job or what?
But see, report him. You hear what I say, girl? Report him to your designated officer or the Complaints and Protected Disclosures Unit at the Integrity Commission. And guess what? Don't worry yourself. The information that you give will be kept confidential.
You sure?
Girl, me positive. Under the Protected Disclosures Act, you can make a report as an employee, and once it is made in good faith, then your boss really and truly can't do nothing about it. And if you don't want to call, you can make an anonymous complaint under the Integrity Commission Act of 2017 by simply downloading and sending in a report in proprietary form from the Commission's website. Just create one email address with no identity attached, so if they have follow-up questions, they can contact you. But sis, make sure that the report you bring is true and you don't have no bad intentions.
Okay, me I go do it.
If you or someone you know has experienced or observed matters involving corruption, improper conduct, or impropriety within the workplace, you're being encouraged to file a report with the Integrity Commission by calling their anti-corruption hotline at 876-926-0001 or emailing cpd@integrity.gov.jm. The Integrity Commission, united against corruption.
It's time now for your JIS News for Tuesday, September 5, 2023. Government will be spending $209 million to implement a project to address water concerns and challenges in Jamaica's northwestern parishes. Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced the Northwestern Parishes Reliability and Service Improvement Project during a recent function. It is meant to address the rapidly deteriorating archaic pipelines and other factors that are preventing access to reliable water supply for residents on that side of the island.
To do that requires massive investments in infrastructure. So we have decided that we're going to find $209 million to develop a program. It is the Northwestern Parishes Reliability and Service Improvement Project.
He says that will involve, in the first instance, using technology to repair some of the pipes, as well as replacement of pipes and upgrades to water treatment plants.
Which would include, let me just give you a few of them. We're going to do the Martha Brae and Great River water treatment plant expansion. We're going to do water transmission main replacement, the Negril pipeline replacement, from Rossies to Orange Bay, Logwood in Negril. The Montego Bay pipeline replacement from Martha Brae water treatment plant to the terminal storage tank.
It also includes the Falmouth Water Supply refurbishment and renewal and the Savannah Lamar refurbishment and renewal projects. 3 small portable treatment plants will also get attention. Cambridge in St. James and 2 meetings and Moravia in Manchester. The Prime Minister provided the details during a town hall on housing and land at the Harmony Beach Park in Montego Bay. Education Minister Favourable Williams is upbeat about the 2023-2024 academic year based on activities observed while visiting several schools on Monday. She and other ministry officials toured several schools in the corporate area to assess the start of activities at these institutions. They also visited the Halfway Tree Transport Centre to meet and greet students before seeing them off to school. Minister Williams says the activities observed during her visit are promising indicators that all stakeholders are ready for the new school year. She adds that the ministry will focus on addressing challenges experienced by all education sector stakeholders and employ the necessary actions to rectify these. Meanwhile, the JIS team visited a number of schools in Western Jamaica where teachers, principals and parents expressed their excitement to begin the new academic year and work together to make it successful for students.
I believe that the current realities will cause the team and the students to dig a little deeper, think a little bit more creatively, and to come up with some out-of-the-box thinking.
What is happening in this country now, we need some real fathers like me to stand up for your kids them, you understand? So it is very important for me to be here this morning. I've spoken to all the teachers so they can get to know the kids and for us to work as a team and move along.
All teachers are here. We have the full complement classes and we're doing great. Here at Middle Primary and Infant, we are in a rebuilding stage. We are here to let our parents and our children know that we are here for them, energized to propel them for a prosperous year.
School administrators are being urged to be extra vigilant in destroying mosquito breeding sites to minimize the spread of the dengue virus by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. The call comes from Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton. He was addressing a recent back-to-school treat in his St. Catherine West Central constituency. The minister says that with the resumption of school comes a greater potential for the spread of dengue, and he is therefore imploring administrators to ensure that the school grounds are as safe as possible from mosquito breeding. The Aedes aegypti mosquito breeds in any containerized environment, that is, in anything that can hold water. Some of the common breeding sites are drums, tires, buckets, and animal feeding containers. Members of the public are encouraged to search their surroundings at home and work at least once per week to ensure there is no breeding of the Aedes aegypti. Minister Tufton advises that where persons suspect that mosquitoes may be breeding, they should contact their parish health teams and the vector control personnel will visit the locations. Persons can also contact the ministry at 888-1LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In other health news now, the ministry will be hosting a series of health and wellness activities for the public from September 8 to 10. The Weekend of Wellness, or WOW, is being organized to commemorate Caribbean Wellness Day, which is celebrated by CARICOM countries on the second Saturday in September. The ministry will kickstart WOW with a Vitality Fest on Friday, September 8, starting at 9 a.m. on Knutsford Boulevard in New Kingston. The event, which will run until 2 p.m., will focus on fitness, food and wellness checks. That includes body mass index, BMI, blood sugar, blood cholesterol checks. Members of the public will also be engaged in fitness sessions and food sampling and enjoy a lunch hour concert and giveaways. WOW continues from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday, September 9, with a sweat fest in partnership with the University of Technology. There, the public will get the chance to participate in the 3K Fun Walk Run, traverse an obstacle course and take part in the Sweat Energy Fitness and Body by Kurt. The event is free and no pre-registration is required to participate. To conclude the weekend of celebration, there will be an invitation-only brunch for senior officials from the government and corporate entities. This will provide the opportunity for the ministry to leverage these stakeholders to institute the guide for the promotion of healthy eating in workplaces. And finally, the National Water Commission (NWC) has implemented an adjusted water supply schedule for customers served by the Mona Water Treatment Plant in St. Andrew. The new schedule took effect on Monday, September 4, in response to the drought conditions that continue to persist. Due to there being little to no rainfall in the corporate area, the NWC says inflows to the Mona Reservoir have been woefully low. As of September 1, catchment levels at the facility reached 34.3% or 277.5 million gallons. The conditions are similar at the Hermitage Dam, where catchment levels are 39.5% or 155.6 million gallons. Based on these declining storage levels, the NWC says a further reduction in the supply times for customers served by the Mono water treatment plant has become necessary. Impacted areas include Lady Musgrave Road, sections of Hope Road, Kingsway, roads leading off Waterloo Road, between Hope Road and West Kings House Road, Trench Town and environs, downtown Kingston, Vineyard Town, South Camp Road, Halfway Tree, Crossroads and New Kingston. Supply times in these areas will move from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to now 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. The NWC says further monitoring of the systems will continue and updates provided to customers as necessary. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
Listen to your parents and get focused, look back by your nose.
So my tips would be, as it relates to being on the road, be mindful of the traffic lights, use up the pedestrian crossing. The taxis drive crazy, you have to pay attention and just be careful on the road.
Focus mostly on the schoolwork and not actually other stuff like wasting time. Your parents working hard, so you have to work hard as well.
For persons going back to school, especially the CSEC students, the key to CSEC is past papers. I remember when I was doing CSEC, I used to live in past papers, honestly, because a lot of the questions repeat, especially for subjects like religious education and so on. For students who are going to graduate next year, even primary school students, a lot of the persons that you'll be graduating with, you'll never see them again. So I'd say just to spend your last moments with those people.
When school reopens, remember to read over your notes, get the ball rolling, and don't wait until last minute to start studying, and just have fun.
We need all Jamaicans to know that child abuse is not just an issue for the government, it's an issue for all Jamaicans. So we need everybody to help us to protect our children. If you know of a child who is being victimized, a child who is abused or neglected, just make that report so we can get that child the help they need. Calling or reporting is easy. All you have to do is remember to call 211. If you are an adult, if you're a child, if you are in church, in your community group, wherever you are, once you are aware there's a child who is in need of care and protection, just be the one and call 211.
As we stated earlier, today is recognized as International Day of Charity. Now, by supporting a charity, you are preventing, relieving and/or assisting a cause in need. Of course, this also counts if you're a volunteer. Watch now as we get a look at this volunteer's heart.
Always behind the camera, organizing functions and events in her community of Longville Park, Clarendon, aptly supported by a robust team. It's the joy of doing what the heart calls for.
I think my love of volunteerism is innate. My mother was a volunteer, and while I was in her womb, she was volunteering in the National Youth Service in the 1970s. So I grew up in a family of volunteers. My mother, my grandmother, be it Sunday school, be it the community of Sanguinity. I'm from that type of background. And then when I came to Longville Park, I discovered an Active Citizens Association, which was so dynamic.
Ava Tomlinson's love of giving back to others has impact far beyond the many turns and slopes of her community. Her instrumental role in helping to get residents of Longville Park vaccinated against COVID-19, for example, supports the National Infection Prevention and Control Agenda. This culture of giving back has been stealthily crafted since her youth.
It's a part of me. I studied in Canada, and their culture is built on volunteerism. And having been exposed to that type of culture of giving back, it means that you're able to make a contribution. It may not be a direct area that you work in professionally, but you have skill sets that you can use and other persons can benefit. The youths, the elderly, neighbors, friends can benefit from giving back and receiving.
In 2022, Ms. Tomlinson received the Badge of Honor for a long and faithful service at the National Honors and Awards ceremony, adding to her collection of awards for stellar contribution to community development. She says it is a humbling achievement.
It's a recognition, not just for myself, but other community volunteers, and also for my ancestors, my mother, my grandmother, who were volunteers in their own rights, that I can be such a recipient.
It unearths the golden thread of society, one that depends upon the harmony of unity and empowerment. It opens the channels of life to impacting the world for better. It is an area in which we need to see more persons involved. Ava's big heart drives her to advocate for more persons to get involved in volunteerism.
Persons can contribute more to being active in their neighborhood watch, sports day events, youth, the elderly. There are so many areas within this community, and especially since we are transitioning. The original owners are getting older, getting into the retirement age, so there's always space for community volunteerism where persons can give back and make persons' life better.
School is already back in session. Let this be the year where you level up your child's education. 21st century skills have already started to make a difference in our world. In this upcoming feature, we explore some of what your children may be exposed to once you take the first step to get them enrolled.
Let's go full steam ahead.
If you have the opportunity to get a STEM education, then you should, regardless of the field or the career choice. So even if you want to be a lawyer, the skills are transferable. So you still need to be a problem solver. You still need to be able to think critically. Employers are looking for graduates with STEM skills, with these 21st century skills.
Teaching future generations to think logically, critically, and focused on problem solving, all while grasping 21st century skills, is a challenge of a lifetime.
And the right policy to be put in place is to make sure that we are building schools that are going to be empowering our young people with science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
And of course, arts.
Because we believe that that is a space that we own and we can exploit for our economic and social development.
The new STEAM Academy being built at Dunby Holden in Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine, is not where it ends. STEAM is being infused in all aspects of public education, but the method modified to suit each environment. At the Alpha Primary School, a partnership with a private institution, STEM Builders Learning Hub, is expanding the aptitude and skills of children as young as age 6.
Little Einstein's program started in 2022, and it is out of the need to actually reach the students where they are at their different levels, and also to ensure that we start early. So this program primarily is for early childhood education institutions and for primary schools. So the program actually takes place once a week or twice, depending on the need. And we actually take the students through hands-on learning by them creating different things like robots, flashlights. So they're learning the theory, but they're also creating. Hi, I'm Cavell Hilton, CEO and founder of STEM Builders Learning Hub. We connect students to quality science, technology, engineering, and mathematics tutors, as well as resources, including our STEM activity box or science kits. STEM Builders Learning Hub started because we recognize the need to provide quality resources for students.
We have done helium balloons, an explosion, a flashlight, a glow-in-the-dark slime, and now we are building an air car.
I would love to expand the program to the upper school, especially as the children are moving out into secondary education. I believe they are now at that phase where they need to make a decision about their own professional development and also as innovators to create new jobs. So I am processing, putting it into the school. We just need to consider some of the resources we would need in order to do so.
One of the major benefits of enrolling children in STEAM education is the fact that it awards them the skills associated with the 4 C's of what is needed to excel in this 21st century: critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration.
STEAM education is very inclusive because it encourages students to do hands-on activities, and the kind of question that students are asked to answer, they're not given the answer, so they would need to think about it. It allows them to experiment if they are wrong. It also gives them the time to go back, think about what they did wrong and how they are able to correct it.
All right, so interesting story. Some years ago, my son is now an adult, he shared with me that he thinks school dumbed him, in quotes. When I spoke with him, he shared that he think he could have done much better, but the limitation of school caused him to do what was required, not what he could have done based on his potential. I was a grade 6 teacher and so was enthused about higher order thinking skills, and then I realized that for STEAM, it afforded children to reason at a new level and to think outside of the box.
As it relates to artificial intelligence, AI, I'm optimistic about the future as it relates to it. And knowing everything, you have negative and positive, but I think the approach is for us not to fear the technology because it's here whether we like it or not. And so my approach is to figure out how we can use it in our classroom in a safe way, and also for us to be able to not just be consumers of this technology, but that we try to also create things that will represent our perspective and our point of view from this side of the world, from a female, from a black person, from a Caribbean person.
We give our children a chance to be their greatest self. As Jamaicans, we see children by age and we say, no, I'm too young, you can't do that. However, what do we know? See a child as an empty slate, see a child as a blank computer. You input the data and look at what the computer will do. I believe that to an extent we have limited what they can, or we determine what they can do. Let us give them a chance to excel, let's give them the opportunity and watch them blossom, as I'm sure they will.
The goal of STEAM education is to foster the true innovation that comes with combining the mind of a scientist or technologist with that of an artist or designer and letting it work together for the greater good. So, how prepared are you in getting your child ready for STEAM education? It's already here. Get with the times and help put your child on the map with the skills of tomorrow.
I encourage the deaf children to have deaf pride, to know that they can. You're on the same level as a hearing person. It doesn't matter that you can't hear. You have a lot of deaf adults who are successful, and you can achieve. You can get the education that you want. You can do anything that you want. You can achieve. Don't feel like you can't because you're deaf.
In believing that nothing is impossible, I have been able to culture a very positive attitude to life, and that positive attitude has worked for me, and I am confident it will work for others. I would want to say to persons with vision impairment and disabilities that it is critical that they become tooled or retooled with the appropriate technologies that can help to drive the way forward so that they can accomplish their vision and their goals.
Children with disabilities, whether you have CP or not, I strongly believe that you have a purpose. My disability has taught me that when it says the sky is the limit, it is. There are times when you're going to fall, but what is to stop you from rising?
Hey there! So I recently came across a post from the World Health Organization, and I'm just here assuming that, like me, you're also looking for ways to take care of yourself, right? Well, let's hope so. The post read, 1 in 2 young people is at risk of hearing loss. So here goes. This is what I learned about safe listening habits. How do you even know when noise is damaging your hearing? There are easy tells, and most likely you've experienced one, if not all. You have to raise your voice to talk to other people. You cannot hear what people nearby are saying. It hurts your ears. You have ringing hearing after. Did you hear that? Okay, back to what I was saying. If you have ringing in your ears or muffled hearing afterwards, the noise is quite possibly loud enough to damage your hearing. So, what can you do? Keep the volume down. Do not listen to music at more than 60% of the maximum volume. Do not use earphones or headphones for more than an hour at a time. Take a break for at least 5 minutes every hour. Use earplugs in noisy places. Also, if you're in a noisy environment, try to take a break every 15 minutes. Give your hearing about 18 hours to recover after exposure to lots of loud noise. Limit time spent on loud activities. Monitor sound levels using mobile apps. And finally, check your hearing regularly. We oftentimes drown our listening habits in the noise and the vibe, but as you just learned, it takes very little to take care of our hearing health. And that's it. Easy, simple, and done. Happy hearing.
This is where our program ends for today, but not to worry. Do join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for another insightful lineup. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to catch up on this and much more. Before we go, though, remember, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. On behalf of all of us here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.